For our creative project, we have decided to look deeper into Freudian's dreamwork theory as well as the Oedipus complex through different films. The dreamwork theory illustrates that dreams have meaning and that dreams can be manifested to happen in everyday, ordinary life. Freud believed that dreams hold symbolic meaning that describe a person's actions, thoughts, and desires in their life. Freud believes that the dreams that occur in our unconscious mind reflect our true desires in life. We have chosen to analyze 4 different films such as Psycho, The Grifters, Harold and Maude, and Mommy, which portray the DreamWorks theory as well as include forms of the Oedipus complex, which Freud describes as a complex of emotions aroused in a child which is driven by an unconscious sexual desire for the parent of the opposite sex. The Oedipus complex and Freudian's dreamwork theory both describe how a person's unconscious mind can influence their actions no matter the circumstances that they are in. We have analyzed each film and created different connections that prove that Freud's theories can make an influential impact on different films.
Psycho is a horror thriller made in the 1960s that showed the demonic and creepy relationship Norman Bates had with his deceased mother. Throughout this movie, we can see and envision the work of the id working in Norman's mind as the dark, inaccessible part of his personality slowly started to reveal itself. We can see Norman's love and fascination for his mother because he dressed like her, talked like her, and even kept her decomposing body in his basement. As Freud mentioned, repressed wishes of this sort and their derivatives are only allowed to come to expression in a very distorted form. We see many scenes where the picture becomes distorted or the cuts of scenes are placed in random order. A knife is also presented in certain scenes, which can be related to Freud's theory of symbolism, where the latent dream thoughts are dramatized and illustrated. This type of symbolism can be seen as sexual as well.
The Grifters is a 1990s dark thriller film that is filled with crime, deception, and manipulation, along with the lines that are crossed between mother and son. This film shows the motives of the 3 different con artists as well as show how their motives and pleasures change in the end. An estranged mother named Lily has a more selfish and diabolical plan set for her son Roy and his girlfriend Myra that presents itself as the id, which according to Freud is the primary component of personality that assumes that she acts in certain ways that are for her own benefit in the end. The Freudian DreamWorks theory comes into play in this film by the deeper thoughts and plans that Lily has, which sets a tone for her motives and desires. This film proved that dreams can elevate a person's instincts to making decisions and acting upon them no matter the consequences. This movie opposes the Oedipus complex and incorporates more of a reversed Electra complex, meaning that Roy's mother Lily has portrayed the development of sexual attraction towards her son, with the means of manipulating him in order to fulfill her own success and desires.
The movie Harold and Maude incorporates Freudian psychoanalysis through the character Harold's relationships with his mother and an old woman named Maude. Right at the start of the movie, we see Harold's primitive desire representing the id to embrace death through his actions of falsely committing theatrical suicides in front of his mother. This first clip is an example of one of Harold's fake suicides. Notice how Harold's body language and facial expressions are like those of someone in a trance-like state, as if he is living a dream in real life.
You were a wonderful baby, Harold. Do you think the sexual revolution has gone too far? It certainly has. Do you find the idea of wife swapping distasteful? I even find the question distasteful. Do you... Harold, please.
Gruesome, right? In that same clip, we see the neglect that Harold's mother gives him as she is filling out Harold's dating questionnaire for him. The two factors of Harold's deaths and his mother's neglect come in full circle when we see Harold explain to Maud how his mother reacted the one time she believed he actually was dead.
And these two policemen came in, found my mother, and told her that I was killed in the fire. She put one hand up to her forehead, the other she reached out as if groping for support, and with this long sigh, she collapsed in their arms. I decided then that I enjoyed being dead.
I understand. A lot of people enjoy being dead, but they're not dead, really. They're just backing away from life. Reach out, take a jump, get hurt even. Play as well as you can. Go, team, go. Give me an L, give me an I, give me a V, give me an E. L-I-V-E, live.
From this scene, we not only understand that Harold's fake deaths are the distorted form that reflect his unconscious desire for his mother's affection, but also why he forms an Oedipus complex-like relationship with Maud. Maud's outlook on living life to the fullest gives meaning to Harold's life, and his attraction to Maud represents the twisted embodiment of Harold's hidden desire to live a valuable life.
I decided.
Mommy is a 2014 international film that shows a mother-son relationship as they go through troubling times in their lives. In certain parts of the movies, we see the characters in a trance as they hallucinate a happier life with one another. There is no specific symbolism within these scenes, but one could say that the close-up facial expressions can act as a sort of symbol for the main characters. As Freud indicates, symbolization transforms the latent dream thoughts, which are expressed in words, into sensory images, mostly of the visual sort. Both the son and mother need one another, and remembering each other's faces allows them to keep each other close within their thoughts.
By analyzing these four movies, it is interesting to note that Freud's theory of dream manifestation changes a bit over time. In older films such as Psycho, we see the id being used as the primary source for aggressive sexual desires. However, modern-day movies such as Mommy portray the unconscious as more of a happy fantasy that wishes to be fulfilled through its dreamlike distortions. While the sexual aspect of Freudian language will always still be here, the fantasy-driven desires are currently being used in exercise advertisements and many other sources of modern-day media.